Welcome to another VeVe Digital Collectible Breakdown video. I'm Corey with VeVe, and today we're going to be covering a one-of-one artist proof from a first-ever collaboration with the immensely talented Mumbot. Jade, thank you so much for taking the time for this quick interview, and many of our collectors on VeVe got to meet you last year at DesignerCon in Anaheim. You stopped by the booth, you signed some autographs, but for folks who may be meeting you for the very first time via this video, can you introduce yourself to our collectors?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be finally dropping something on VeVe. It was amazing to meet all of the collectors at DesignerCon in Anaheim in December, and I've also received such a warm welcome with some of the community online. But yeah, a little bit more about me. My art name is Mumbot. I'm an artist, toy designer, storyteller, world builder, and creator of Mumbot World. Mumbot World started over 15 years ago with me drawing, painting, making zines, mini comics, hand sewing felt plush, hand sculpting, silicone mold making, resin casting, learning all of that in-house, to producing and manufacturing full collections of Japanese sofubi, soft vinyl toys, resin figures, enamel pins, stickers, apparel, and plush. I also became pretty deeply immersed in the Web3 space. So that's allowed me to grow even more as an artist.
Your style of creepy, cute, and whimsical has endeared you to a whole legion of fans. It's so popular that you often host art streams to show other people how you do what you do. When did you develop this style of art, and what inspires it?
Yeah, that's a really good question, Corey. Thanks for that. I would probably say the development of my style of art has been a combination of many years of practice, and then also an amalgamation of all of my influences and inspirations. I'm pretty inspired by nature, which is quite obvious, but stylistically, I'm inspired by graffiti, street art, comic books, sci-fi, fantasy, and pop surrealism and lowbrow art movements, to name a few.
Switching to VeVe specifically, you clearly have the talent to go really anywhere you want. You have a lot of partnerships out there in the real world already. How did you hear about VeVe, and what brought you to our collecting platform?
I really liked the idea of VeVe partly because of friends of mine who are artists who introduced me to the platform, such as Frank Kozik and Ron English. And I felt like a good energy from the community. To be honest with you, that was something that resonated with me right away.
Awesome. All right, last question before we dive right into the one-of-one proof that you're releasing on VeVe, your first ever piece. One of the exciting things that I get to do whenever I talk to artists, especially on VeVe, is the convergence between the physical and the technological worlds. How has the ability to produce art in this sort of digital age changed the way that you approach your art? Has it given you any new insights or visions as to what you could be doing with your art and your worlds?
Oh yeah, it's definitely been a learning process to take these visions and apply them. I would say I've always liked to keep a pretty open mind, and that's allowed me to grow even more as an artist by being able to explore everything from how to incorporate AR functionality into my 2D creations, working in 3D, including a video game that I've been collaborating with my good friend Cyrus James Khan in development with Unreal Engine.
All right, I'm gonna quickly introduce this drop, the time and the date, and then we'll come right back to you, Jay, to talk a little bit more about this one-of-one piece that's releasing, and also the physical pairing that is going to be releasing to the winner as well. Mumbot's Bloom silent auction is going to be opening on August 21st. The entry point bid for this silent auction will be 1,500 gems, and whoever walks away the winner also gets the one-for-one physical pairing. Now, Jade, I'm seeing a lot of references to some of your most popular characters. New fans of yours may not realize that all of your characters are steeped in a story and lore. Jade, can you tell us a little bit more about that story and how this piece ties into it?
Just for a little background, Aughostus the Ghost is my main character, and he's been around for hundreds of years. There are other main characters like Girl from the Forest Floor, who over time it's revealed that she is the great-great-great-granddaughter of Aughostus the Ghost. Some of the other main characters are nature spirits such as Mossy, Crispoo, Shumi, Mushrumi, the mushroom spirit, and Cloudy Puffs. There's a few others. They all have a sort of found family in a magical forest that you can only get to through a secret portal in a tree, a very old tree.
Emotionally, what led to you creating this piece? What was the inspiration?
Sure, absolutely. It is important to highlight the close relationships of this group. And if you read the description, I'm talking a little bit about friendships and how they bloom. And that's a process that happens together. In this piece, it kind of looks like they're all kind of blooming out of a burst of plant life. And I want to give the impression of also how in the forest, plant life doesn't always grow at the same rate. Like, for example, we planted 2 trees. One tree is huge. The other is maybe 30% the size, and they were both planted at the same time. You know, everyone sort of has their time where they grow faster than their friends, or they go through a tougher time than their friend. But ultimately, I kind of wanted to showcase that they were still all together and there for each other.
Now, on the physical side, the winner of this 1-for-1 silent auction is going to be getting your physical counterpart, Jade. Can you tell us a little bit about that physical piece?
So the winners of this auction will be gifted the physical counterpart. That's correct. And the piece took months to create, because analog graphite rendered pieces, I really do I take the time. It takes time. It's not something that can be rushed to create that rendering effect.
With that, we've reached the end of this breakdown video. A big thank you to Jade and her entire studio for helping facilitate this interview. Jade, is there any last words you'd like to share with our collectors? Any hints into future releases?
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Corey. This has been such a pleasure. I do have pretty big plans. I hope that we'll be able to eventually share that with the VeVe community. We have some pretty crazy and cool ideas for some pretty awesome art collectibles. So hopefully we could do it. Thank you so much.
Epic. Thanks again, Jade. And for everyone watching, until the next breakdown video, keep learning, sharing, and collecting what you love. This is Corey with VeVe, signing off.